I'm rocking the Simucube pedals for quite some time, and we all know they are the most innovative tech, which makes them the best hardware for sim use period, because we can simulate any pedal feeling ever existed in real and sim world with simply few mouse clicks. Because of the high cost and community request, the guys from Simucube created Passive Throttle, which will be the main reason of that video, but I will be once again stupidly positive about that crazy step in the future of sim racing. Keep in mind that those have been sent to me for test and content, and there is always chance of me being just biased and try to manipulate you to spend your money. Or maybe with that last sentence, I try to play the honest guy on internet, coming up with reverse psychology, confusing stuff as always. Now, instead of starting discussing the ridiculous cost of gear created for gaming and express some compassion for people like me who can't afford those, I want to share my philosophy and why I believe those are the first and important step for the better future of our favorite hobby. I believe in few years this tech will evolve, just as the direct drive wheels become the new standards for hardcore enthusiasts, and need all the support from all of us if we want to see that sooner. I remember I couldn't afford the 3.5k Leo Bodnar direct drive wheelbase, but Simucube bring back then the OSW for way less of that price, and I got it. Now we have DD bases for $500. I mean, the guys are inventing something really cool, and if some of us can't afford it right now, at least we can support the Simucube team and let them evolve instead of counting their profit, which none of us have real idea of the work behind. Anyway, that's my philosophy and reason. I don't try to bring any excuses for me just because I can't pay the price or judging the value they price their own work. Most importantly, the first step is made and things can get only better from here. Now, back to the pedals. In the first video we explored the two active pedals, one for brake and one for throttle, and as I've said then, those can become anything we wish. Elastomer, spring or hydraulic feeling from linear to progressive, and anything in between from just moving few sliders on the fly with the mouse. No hardware or tools needed. We want to experience real car forces from specific car taken from telemetry data, which will come soon, no problem, as it's not problem to create our own profile to fit perfectly our personal needs. It is even hard to explain how cool it is to be able to fine-tune every gram or millimeter of movement with zero effort. Even if the feedback is sweet and important, for me the biggest selling point is that incredible adjustability without the need of going under my rig, which is a painful process. However, today we'll check the Passive Throttle, which is significantly cheaper, but we will lose everything I'm excited about. Don't get me wrong, as this Passive Throttle is definitely matching some of my favorite gas pedals on the market, as the one from InSim Talento and the Sim Magic from P2000 model in terms of quality and hardware adjustability. Coming from Active One, I can easily suggest the Active to those who don't mind the price difference. People used to say this one is smoother, which in practice it is, but under my feet while driving, I can't feel personally that difference in smoothness. In terms of adjustability, it is possible to change the angle of the core, the angle of the plate, height, stiffness in compression through piston angle, preload or spring replacement, throw distance, and in general, it is for sure Simucube usual high quality hardware, but needs that physical adjustment and tools to achieve that. Again, it is maybe one of the best Passive Throttle pedals I have drove on my rig, but can't be compared to the Active One. If we take the cost out of the equation, which sounds weird for some of us, but I know there are people who don't mind and count money, things are quite simple. The Active can be tweaked on the fly and made exactly to our like, and for bonus can produce haptic feedback. And I won't be worried about smoothness, as if there is slight difference, it totally disappears once I'm on the track. What I want to say is, this in my opinion is not the better choice, but just the more affordable. However, For those who can stretch their budget to only one active and one passive pedal, this is still a very good option. It will match the aesthetics and will do the job. My personal suggestion to the Simucube team is to develop top quality damper kit and give us that ability to slow the input down as much as we individually need. That, in my opinion, is an important feature for sim use, and it helps my input enormously with the active model. If this one has damper kit, was going to be easily rated as one of the best passive throttle I ever used on that rig. There are some software tricks which can change the input received from the game, but it's not the same as it will be with the proper kit. It is also not the quietest in both ends, but in use is actually okay as the small rubber rings absorb enough. In little words, it is good pedal, but if Simucube find a way to fit damper kit, can become top. Also, as I have the pedals in that configuration for all those weeks, I had the chance to explore one of the active as a clutch, which is also top experience. If 6K is not big deal for you, adding some curves the pedal can become authentic clutch for exciting driving. By point haptic feedback can be set to the proper percentage and feels very sweet underneath. Again, those really are the perfect tool with limitless possibilities and probably way ahead of time, but they will push not only the hardware industry but also the game developers to create the ultimate experience. All that said, even if Simucube won't from me review and honest opinion, I really don't think that is exactly what they need. The active pedals are the best gear ever produced for sim use, and no one can deny that fact. I was lucky to be in that first presentation on the Expo 2 years ago, and every single pedal developer I talked with was amazed and at the same time scared to death for their own future. Every single one of them realized it's time to go back on the drawing desk as the future has arrived. The only thing that saved those developers from uncertainty was the price of the new tech. If Simucube had decided to go for a lower spec, more affordable model as first product, some companies had to shut down for years. Just from ethical point of view, that decision was in huge favor for many companies. I saw and won't forget those worry faces before the price release. Selfishly, I wanted to be able to buy those and be affordable for all of us, but that was going to be total disaster for so many great developers and their families who pushed for years the hobby in the good direction for all of us. So here is what I think as hardcore sim racing hobby lover. Everyone who loves the hobby and can afford those pedals should get them, not only because they're incredible and best ever, but because we'll also invest and support the future of this niche. That will be in favor for all of us. For people like me who can't stretch the pocket, instead of blaming Simucube team, we must support their hard work and innovation, at least verbally, because they will be the reason of the better future of this hobby and eventually make this new tech mainstream and reachable for all of us. We must give them at least the credit for the hard work in those first and most difficult steps. Enjoy the hobby, guys.